What are we going to get into today? Well, let's talk about cuts. What are they? When do we make them? Why? But let's keep it simple. And maybe we could just take some of the questions out of this process. Hopefully it'll help a beginner that's checking this hobby out. Maybe it might help give more insight to somebody's been doing a while, I hope. Alright, but first, welcome to Stillworks and Brewing. My name is Randy, and this is the channel that's all about home distillation and brewing. Okay, alright. This is basically a representation of a run. It's water, okay? And I put some food coloring just to give a little bit of visual for it. Okay, so what's the order of our cuts? Well, it's easy. It's going to be foreshots, heads, hearts, and tails. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these colored jars to help describe each one of these. So let's get into that and we'll check it out. Okay, so the first question we got is foreshots and heads. Okay, they are the first thing that comes off the still, and it's going to contain compounds like acetone, methanol, plus other stuff that just don't taste or smell very good. Okay, so once you're warming your still up, well, let me get back to one thing. There is a fear out there of methanol. You drink it, you'll go blind. We all have had methanol. Methanol and these other compounds are a byproduct of the fermentation process. So when you make beer, you don't get the methanol out of it. Now granted, it is dispersed between, if I'm doing a 5-gallon batch of beer, it's between 2 cases, it's all dispersed out. Okay. Why do we take it out when we distill? Because we can. Okay, so the way it's going to work is as the still is warming up. Okay, the foreshots, it's going to start coming off at 145 degrees. It's going to start coming up the column. Okay, and it's going to smell like fingernail polish remover. Everybody's smelt that. It's a distinct smell. I don't never taste at that point, but I don't think it would taste too good. But that's what it smells like. My rule of thumb is when I'm running my still, I will collect 1 fluid ounce per gallon of mash. Okay, and that's the very first thing I'm gonna collect, and that's what's here. That's actually a little bit over. It's 8 ounces. But I will say, so that's 1 fluid ounce per gallon of mash. Okay, now that's if you're doing your grains and stuff, grain mashes and sugar washing. With sugar washing, you have very little, but it's still a safe thing. Fruit mashes, my rule of thumb is 1.5 ounces per gallon of mash. Okay. So, so just remember that's the very first thing that'll come off. Alright, and what I'm going to do is after I collect that, then I'm going to move to small cut jars. Okay, so like I said, I've moved to smaller cut jars. Alright, I've collected off I like to believe my foreshots and heads, I collect them off at the same time. Okay, mostly. So like I said, I moved to smaller cut jars. Alright. If you notice this cut here, it's got a little tinge of the red, so it might have a little bit of the heads in it. It's not bad, but you might want to use it for blending when you blend everything together and there's some taste in there that you like or if you don't like. Alright, so let's move on to hearts. What is hearts? Hearts are the most desired part of this run. That's what we're all after. It is the majority of the run. So what's my head temperature doing at this time? Alright, so my head temperature's climbed up. Now everybody's still is different. This is just my still, and it depends on, you know, the amount above sea level you are and all that stuff. This is where mine is, and I'm close to sea level, roundabout. So my head temperatures went up to 180 degrees. I'm starting to collect. Alright. Alright, so I'll take a couple small cut jars, and then I'm going to move into bigger cut jars. Alright. So we're going to collect. My still, it'd go up to 180 degrees, 183, and it'd just hang out there for a long time. Alright. So I'm collecting. Alright. And when you start getting down here, okay, I got to keep putting more energy into the still pot to keep the production to where I've been running at. You know, you'll see it start to slow down. You got to put a little more energy to get the drip coming back up to where you want it. Alright. And when I reach about 200 degrees up on the head temperature, I know I'm getting close to tails. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back down to smaller cut jars. Alright. And I know I'm getting close to tails. Okay, so like I said, I'm getting close to tails. What is tails? Well, basically tails is kind of like what the name implies. It's the very end of the run. And I've been putting more and more energy in to the still pot. And one thing I like to do is I like to check the ABV coming right off the spout of the still. And so at this point in time, my ABV is going to be around 48, about 40 ABV, and my head temperature is climbing up to 204. Okay, and at that point, I pretty much know that my run is done. Okay, it will start smelling like wet dog or wet cardboard, and when that happens, I say I'm done. But okay, so what we got down here? So we use this cut jar. It's looking pretty good. You know, it's smelling pretty good. And then you might even get a tinge, or let's say this cut jar. Yeah, you're going through it, and then you get into your tails. Okay. So that's going to be our run. All right. So we're done. Maybe, maybe not. All right, now a lot of people, what they do, and I have, is what they call feints. Okay, just because there's tails in this, don't mean that there's good alcohol in that. It might not be something I want to put in my final project or product, but it is good alcohol in there, and so I will say that, and I'll put it in what calls the feints jar, and I can use that into a future run because it's good alcohol. It just don't taste that great. But it is alcohol because, let's see, and you'll keep collecting until you feel that you're putting more effort than what you're getting out, and then you can shut it down. Okay, so the next part of this process is, a lot of times what I do is I like to just put some paper over top, you know, coffee filters, or I use paper towels a lot, just to keep any bugs or anything out, and let them breathe out. I like 24 hours, and I feel that that's pretty good to let them breathe. Okay, so what this whole process is, I'm looking for 2 lines. Okay, and the 2 lines are what I want to keep and what I don't. So in this particular representation, the 1 line, and then how we're going to do this, I'm going to taste. So I always start in the middle, work each way. So let's go this way. We're going to taste. All right. I'm going to say here's 1 line. This is starting to taste like, don't smell that great. Don't taste that great. So here's 1 line. Okay. Now let's go at the upper side. All right. So on the upper side, let's say right here is going to be your other line. Yeah, this might have a little funky taste to it, which ain't bad. It's going to be kind of on the fruity side. If that, whatever, depending on what you're making, you know, you might want to use some of this in your final product, and which is perfectly fine if that's the taste that you're looking for. Alright, but overall, here's my 2 lines. I'm going to mix these all together and check the ABV. Now, some people, and this is all up to you, some people say that do not proof it down until after you age. If, say, this is a bourbon, not to proof it down until after aging. Me, myself, I like to proof it down to my drinking proof, which is, like, say, on a bourbon, I like 80 proof. Unless, if I put it like in one of the mini barrels, I like to have the proof a little bit higher. But if I'm using wood chips and it's going to be aged in a jar, you know, in my big mixing jar, I like it to put that to the 80 where I like it. Okay? So, we blended it together. We got it on wood chips, and now we wait. Okay. Some important things to remember is the best tools for this whole project is taste and smell. You know, that is the most important tools that you got, is taste and smell. If it tastes good, use it. If it tastes bad, don't. It's easy. Don't let it be too complicated, and that's my theory. I mean, there's a lot of rules of thumbs out there. Different people do. My thing is, let's not make it too complicated. If it tastes good, you got a good product. All right. Okay. Hey, I got a big thanks to put out there. If you subscribe to this channel, thanks a million. You know, we appreciate every single one of you. All right. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, now would be a perfect time. Okay, just hit that button down there. It's so easy. It costs you nothing. And then you might as well hit that notification bell so when we come out with something new that you make sure that you get it. Okay? You know, this is how subscriptions, subscribers is how we keep new content coming. It's just a marker for YouTube to help us get out there. Okay? Well, I hope this helped a little. If one person got it, hey, I did my job. All right? Last thing I got to say. Hey, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time here on Stillworks and Brewing. Cheers, everybody.